Hi guys, today's video is going to be all on my favorite neutral eyeshadow palettes, and I've kind of wanted to make a video like this for a little while, and I had some products. I do this to myself all the time where I'm like, I don't want to make this video until I have every product I want to talk about, but honestly, I don't have the funds for that. Ain't nobody got time for that, and I really need to stop hoarding cosmetics. So I'm just going to show y'all my very favorites. I do own a lot of neutral eyeshadow palettes. These are not all of the ones that I own. I just wanted to show you my favorites. So I'm going to be starting off with the higher end ones and moving into my drugstore palettes. The first one I really want to mention is something that sat in my collection for I feel like almost a year now, and honestly I've barely delved into it, and it took me a while to kind of figure out what this palette was all about. It's the Too Faced Boudoir Eyes Soft and Sexy Eyeshadow Collection, and more than ever lately I've been playing with my makeup trying to figure out what I want to do for my wedding. And I pulled this one out and I was like, you know what, those colors are really good for like a softer, not necessarily super natural kind of look, but for something like a wedding where you want to look soft and beautiful and everything like that. And honestly, I just love this so much. I just filmed to get ready with this, or get ready with me with this, so that'll be up fairly soon. But if you can see, it comes in different collections, so to speak. I don't really like using them in the collections. I like to mix colors, like I'll use the pink one with this taupe, or whatever, but I do like that it has the three kind of main lid colors and bigger pans. I think that that's really helpful. And then having the smaller crease shades and smaller pans, I just think it's a really good idea. I really like the colors. They're intensely pigmented. I just think it's a really good palette, and this one was, I want to say, right around $32, and I think that's a really good price for this. I really do wish it had a mirror. That's the only downfall for it. Next is a palette I seriously love so much that you're going to see how much I really love it. This palette has been with me through freaking hell. I mean, I've cracked the mirror, I've jammed my fingernails into the eyeshadows, and it's still going pretty strong. I hate the packaging, for the record. I think this is a really poor idea for packaging in general, but for a neutral eyeshadow palette you're going to take everywhere, who the heck packages that in cardboard? But the Lorac Pro, I know all of you have already seen it, but it comes with an entire row of matte shadows and then an entire row of shimmer. They're all neutral, very wearable colors. You've got some really great basic browns for your crease. You've got some nice matte light highlights. You've got some smokier colors. I think that this is a fantastic, if you just need to start out getting neutral eyeshadows, this is a great beginner's palette, but it's also a great palette for those of us who maybe are more experienced with makeup, because these shadows, let me see, I'll just press my finger into pewter here. They're so intensely pigmented, and it doesn't take much to build them up. Y'all know I had to do it here, but then we have the array of the Naked. I do not own Naked 3 yet. I do plan on buying it, but from the looks of it, I don't think I would have included it in this video anyways. I just think it's a slightly different neutral palette. It's very warm, and it's kind of more rose, gold based, and I just don't think that's going to suit everyone, if you know what I mean. So I mean, I can think of several different skin tones it wouldn't quite flatter. I guess I'll see when I actually get it, and maybe I'll be like, dang it, I really should have waited. But for now, my favorite of the Naked palettes is Naked 1. And the reason for that is because it is warmer. Again, very stupid idea. I cracked the mirror, had to get it out of there, had to scrub the crap out of the eyeshadows to make sure there was no glass in them. But the colors themselves are phenomenal. This will always probably be my favorite eyeshadow palette. I can't imagine anything really taking this palette's place. And these are really intensely pigmented as well. Not quite as pigmented as the Lorac Pro, but I do find sometimes I don't want something that is going to go on, full color the second I put it on my eye, if you know what I mean. I like to really blend things up and build them and make them soft and smoky. I also did want to show Naked 2 just because I do think that this is a really good palette as well. I think that a lot of people were a little bit confused by it when it first came out, but what this is a cooler version of really neutral shadows. So the Naked 1 was warm. This one is going to be cool. You've got some taupes. You do still have a gold in there, a copper and stuff, but it's mostly cooler shades. I have kind of yellow skin, and I feel like I can wear these. Sometimes I feel like colors like Pistol don't look very good on me because I am warmer in complexion. So someone with maybe cooler undertones would really like this. I do think it's suitable for everyone, as is the Naked One. I just prefer the Naked One. Lastly, for high-end eyeshadows is my Naked Basics palette. This one is $27 and can't get it open. I like the packaging on this one a lot. I think that the packaging is very smart. It's rubberized and it's very, very sturdy. And it just has 6 colors. One is a shimmer, the rest are all matte. I think that these are great to kind of coincide with other colors. Like, for example, let me see if I can find it here. I used this eyeshadow today all over my lid. It's just a really pretty champagne. And then I used a different palette, but I definitely could have used this to kind of finish off the look with matte browns and stuff like that. I don't like it on its own, but I do like it as a add-on. So like if I have a really great lid color, I can complete the look with this. So if you're just really looking for some great starter colors and you don't want to buy a full out palette yet, this is fantastic. However, it is time for me to delve into my drugstore goodies, and I think a fantastic rival for that Naked Basics palette is this Physicians Formula Classic Nudes Matte Collection Quad Eyeshadow. And if you kind of look at them, when I first got this, I went crazy. I wrote a whole blog post on it, and this was on my old website, where I was like comparing it to every naked shadow I own. And if you look at it, it has a very similar kind of feel to this. Obviously, it's missing the matte dark blackish brown. It's missing the creamy kind of shimmery highlight. But other than that, you've got a matte skin tone highlight. You've got a reddish kind of warm brown, which is great. Sometimes you need a slightly warmer brown for certain looks. You've got a really nice kind of light brown, great for blending, and then you've got a darker cool brown. So if you don't want to go all out and get Naked Basics, I think that this one is right around $6, maybe $8. And I just think that it's absolutely phenomenal. I think that it kind of is cruddy in the packaging. If you can see, my pants are kind of lopsided. I almost worry that they're gonna like fall out. I've actually already super glued one back in. But other than that, like if you're not, you know, super rough on it, it should be completely fine. So this is the only eyeshadow product I've ever actually finished. And I have gone through 2 of these trios. I wore this, I think, every single day, almost my like senior year of high school. And then when I got into college, it was like my go-to. So this is the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells Color Icon Trio, and it has a really nice seashell pink, a kind of mid-tone shimmery brown, a sort of yellow-based shimmery highlight. And these are intensely, intensely pigmented. Like, I'll take this lighter color here, and I just think for a drugstore shadow, and I kind of like built that up as much as I could, you wouldn't wear a brow bone shade that light. But for a drugstore eyeshadow, that payoff is phenomenal. These are my favorite drugstore eyeshadows, probably. I shouldn't say that because everything is my favorite, but I do really like these. And this is definitely my favorite trio. Next is this NYX Love in Rio trio. I have several of these, but my current favorite, and probably my favorite out of all of them, is the one in Fuego. And you wouldn't really, I mean, obviously this is like a more cranberry shade, but I do consider it a more neutral palette. It's got kind of a shimmering taupe, kind of cranberry purple tint shade, and then an almost blue-based gray. So it's really, really dark gray, almost black. But I just think that this is a fantastic neutral eyeshadow, especially for this time of year when you're kind of wanting those more cranberry and darker colors. I think that this one is great. The color pigmentation on these, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's really hit or miss. I feel like I do have to kind of work these up. It's right there on my ring finger, that sort of taupe shade, and then I'll swatch this purple one. So that one's a touch more pigmented. But I think that if you used a nice primer and everything, it would be completely and totally fine. This is mostly one of my favorites because I really like the color selection, and I do feel like the colors are unique enough that I don't have them anywhere else in my collection. And then my very last one is a goodie for those of you who are cheap like myself. This is an LA Colors eyeshadow trio, and I will have to write out the name because mine actually doesn't have a back anymore. It never did, actually. The woman had to like ring up another one when I bought it in the store. This bad guy is $1 freaking, and I want to do a full review of these because I bought several others. They have a very, very limited supply of like neutral ones. There's like this and then one other, and I think out of the 2, this was my favorite. This one, though, has some kind of more, I would say, sunset colors. You've got a gold, you've got a really nice copper, and then you've got a deeper brown. I don't know if I can even fathom how pigmented these are. They're so creamy, they're so soft. The pigmentation is so intense on these, and it was $1. Like, you seriously, I want to just marry it. And every trio I've tried from them has been identical to this. I just think that this line is phenomenal, but this one in particular is great if you need some kind of neutral shadows. So that is it for this video. I hope you all found it helpful, and let me know in the comments below what your favorite neutral eyeshadow palettes are. If you did like the video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and until my next video, I love you all so, so much, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!